So you're a flute player looking to get yourself the perfect Christmas gift to go along with it. What should you get? Well, I have a list of 4 things you absolutely need to order today, so they come in time. We flute players need our instrument within reach and in a protected position, so it's a good thing the makers at Gator Frameworks have come up with the perfect flute stand to keep our instruments safe and happy. There are 2 reasons I love this flute stand, with the first being that it's heavy duty. I've had stands before that fold out like a little tripod, which seem like a good lightweight idea until someone walks by or the wind blows and there goes your flute. It just won't budge on one of these. Although it's best to store our instrument in its actual case, placing your flute on this stand is secure and handy when you have to take some notes, take a quick phone call, or just take a moment. Its peg fits a standard flute, and it unscrews from the base for simple transportation and storage. I've been using stands just like this for years and it has never scratched my flute. I suggest having one for your practice space at home and another always in your to-go bag. This will ensure that you won't unsafely keep your flute in your lap or placing it somewhere where it could roll or fall from. Enough said? Get one or 2. Now, I'm a decently tall flute player, and that means these puny little bendy fold-up stands do not measure up. There are 2 reasons you want to get rid of the old fold-up stand and change to particularly this solid black beauty. The Manhasset brand of music stands has been a staple in the music industry for many generations, and one of their best inventions, in my opinion, is when they started making music stands for adults, so they can stand and play like we flute players do. Finally, I can read and see my music from right in front of me instead of having to step way back and tip my head down, because as you know, this causes tone problems for fluties. When the maker of the first Manhasset stand decided something needed to be better, he started a tradition of exceptional quality that we all enjoy today. They're not as pricey as you think, and you definitely need to get yourself one. Now, this particular tall symphony stand raises to a height of over 60 inches. That is so good and needed in the flute world. It's also so solid and not flimsy and fall apart like these fold-up ones are. You can put your binder, 2 or 3 books, and your flute journal on here as well without it sinking or falling over. Basically, it's awesome. Use my link here to be sure you get to the right stand right now. If you're a flute player, you know that it can be a pretty loud instrument, which means that most of the time we have problems hearing the metronome that your teacher told you to use. If you're like me, you're not in love with that beep that many of the digital metronomes have. You may also not be in love with the price of the complex ones with fancy features. The folks who created this digital mechanical hybrid metronome have solved all of these problems. When I went searching for a replacement to the metronome I had had for 30 years, yes, literally 30 years, my number 1 goal was to make sure that it was loud, loud, loud. Well, I found it. This metronome cuts through the sound of my playing in all octaves and also has a handy-dandy earphone jack to use if you need to do that as well. This weight slides up and down on the timeline here, creating super easy and smooth transitions between tempos. And the special features like beat accentuations or rhythm patterns are visible on the bottom of the machine, with the controllers actually being on the sides, so you can easily change through the features with just one hand. I like to flip the little stand out and hook it onto my music stand so that I can see it with the light right in front of my eyes while I'm practicing. It's battery powered and has a micro USB port and will last on those batteries for up to 50 hours. Now, I haven't owned this one for 30 years yet, but for the price, it seems well worth the purchase. Get one. There comes a day for flute players when you've stepped into a higher level, maybe more expensive instrument, and it's a glorious day until your flute needs to leave you to go get a fix or a checkup, or maybe you're headed out on vacation and would rather not travel with that new flute. So the best option is to have a second flute for these situations, and many people are looking for a decent quality, low-cost option. Well, I've been going the rounds with these types of flutes for a few months now, and I've come across a really great solution. Now, I'll actually have a more in-depth review of this particular flute model, and for these quick recommendation purposes today in this video, I'll let you know that this flute is winning the race so far. This flute is made in China by the Pogo Lab company, and judging by its weight and its look, it's the reason it's kind of starting to stand a little bit higher above the rest in line for a low-cost instrument purchased from Amazon. Here are 3 reasons why I like it and recommend it for you. Number 1, it has a nice zippered case for safe traveling. This one just went to Las Vegas with me last month. And the second reason is that it actually plays really well. I've been surprised actually, and I don't mind playing it at all. All of the octaves speak nicely. And the third reason will knock your socks off because this flute can be found at a super price point. Now, I've been watching it over the past couple of months, and I've seen it within $20 of $100. That's crazy. And for this price, you can afford to take it on vacation and not worry what could possibly happen to it. And it works great as a pinch hitter when your primary instrument is out of condition. Now, to get this exact flute, make sure to use my link and choose the option with the silver plate and the open holes. Get one of these. I'm Rebecca Fuller, and I don't recommend anything I haven't tried, used with my students, and love myself. So you can be sure that these highly suggested items I've shown you here today are tried and true and waiting for you. And don't forget to join us in the members area at Learn Flute Online. We are having a productive and fabulous time. And if you like this video, follow for more.